What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. It's a new week here, and it's a blue week if you ask me. It's one of my favorite colors, so I don't mind seeing all this blueness in here. It is just fabulous. A couple of EM1s. This one's about wrapped up. I'm fighting a catalyst code on it. It still has stock cap. I'm gonna drop it, see if it's clogged or not, kind of go from there. Otherwise, that thing rips. Has a mean VTEC, drives straight, runs good. That LS VTEC we put in there, just healthy, healthy, healthy. Over here, we're making good progress on this thing. Had to wait for a dang steel bung to come in. What a pain it was to get one of those. Summit didn't have a 10-an that I needed. Ordered one on Amazon, never showed up. Good old Donovan pulled through, found one, got it here, man. And he was even nice enough to drop the oil pan for me. So Donnie whipped that out, and that's what I'm gonna start on today. I'm gonna probably get that pan welded up, get this oil feed line here ran, get our fuel situation figured out. Gonna be a little tight in here, but I do have this Earl's here with the -6 right there. That'll go there, down onto that. And I think we can just get this one short here, get our line on. We might have to come around it this way. I'm not too sure yet. We will figure that out. But that's really all I have left. I'm working on a little bit of mounting down here. Once I get that oil and feed return done, I think it's a matter of plugging the ECU in that he has, doing a valve adjustment, seeing if it's lost motions or not, wrapping this one up. And then as far as Kenny's NSX, I'm actually building an arm stand. I think that's gonna come off of that and attach to that so we can get it up in the air, or some planks or something to get it up. I don't want to have to be jacking this thing up every time I got to get it on the lift. Be a little bit of a bugger, but we have his engine over there getting cleaned up to go in here. Few people out this week. Alexa's finishing up school, and so next week we will be cruising again. Tonight I'm going to stay late, work on Donovan's car. That's a little update for the week. Let's dive into some action. All right, y'all, I got the oil line plumbed. Got the little adapter I'll put down there. I'm running it right off the oil pressure switch in the back. Got a little T-fitting, come around, feed some oil. It goes right next to the oil filter there. And now I am going to make these lines work for our fuel here. You can see with the water cooler on, we don't have much room here. So this guy, I'm actually going to cut this end off, and we're gonna weld it right onto there. And that'll let me adapt a -6 fitting. And that -6 fitting will probably have to just run right up over the top here. And then this one will go right into our filter. So that's what we're gonna have to make do with that. I'm sure I can get the correct fitting for this guy here, but I happen to have both these. And if I just give it a quick little cleaning here, quick little cleaning there, cut that off, I'll be able to weld those together, make this work, and keep on trucking. Once that's done, I'm gonna pull the oil pan out of the parts cleaner over there, dry it out, get that bung welded in, get the return put on this thing, get a belt measured, get it put on, and we're about have this one wrapped up, I think. Let's go weld us up a fitting.
Never break, always fight, never quit, do it right, play the game, win it life, have no shame, there's no time, feel the pain.
All right, y'all, I just welded that fitting up. I should still be able to get an AN tool on it. She's not the prettiest, but not the ugliest. It'll definitely work for what I need. Let's go ahead and get that slapped in the car and get this fuel line made. All right, this is all -6 here. What I've done is spit on the end of this and just cramped it down on there. You want to make sure your hose is all the way up to the edge of that bevel. Then I'm going to take and shove it in the vise here. They make jaws for this, but if you don't have them, you can make do. I'm gonna take a little liquid moly here, dab it on these threads. You're just gonna line that up in the hose, give it a quick little push, start threading. Grab your AN wrench, tighten her down. All right, just like that, that line is built. We can go ahead and clean all that goop off, drop it, that's always good. Good thing I still got the cap on it. Now we're gonna take this over to the car, measure it out, and make another one of those. And then this thing should be ready to go on the fuel feed side of things. Like I was saying, I think unfortunately it's gonna kind of just have to go up over the top right there, go down, and then just plumb in right here. So let's go ahead and see what we make of that. Just like that, mark my line, take this all back off, take it over to my welding table now, cut it, stick it all together. Let's see what it looks like when it's all done here. That actually doesn't look too bad. That's our new fuel line. You can still kind of get to everything you need to. You can get to the water cooler, you can get it on off. All that'll work great. We've got our oil feed line on, we've got our injectors in, we've got our new fuel rail on. I'm gonna work on now getting this mounted up. We're gonna use that shock bolt, move this tab, mount that, run a few lines there, get the oil pan hooked up, and I think this one's about a wrap. So let's go ahead, knock a bunch of this little stuff out, and see if we can't get this thing started. I suppose it's that time. Let's get some oil back in this thing. We drained it so we could put this fitting right here on the oil pan, dropped it, cleaned it, hot tanked it, welded it inside and out, ran my drain line. It goes over up to the old supercharger, right up in there. That's all ran good, all tight, got a hose clamp on it. My oil feed line goes from here to the back. I better actually double check that one, make sure that it is tight, because I do not believe I tightened that one there. But if they are all tight, I can go ahead and put some fluid in this thing, turn it over a little bit, no spark, and just see what we get. Make sure I got oil pressure. Coming up to the supercharger, I also have to run this vacuum line before I start it. I'm just gonna rob this one off that jalopy there, go from here to over there, just with a quick line to make sure this has a vacuum from the manifold. and then we will go ahead and try to start it. It does not have an ECU in it yet. I forgot that we had to get an OBD1 to OBD2 jumper harness, or OBD2 to OBD1 jumper harness. That was my bad. So we're gonna get them ordered. We got our power steering line on and hooked up. Those were stripped, so we just put a nut on the bottom, ran a bolt through. That'll work good on those. Power steering's on, it's tight. All the bolts in there, it's getting real tight in here, keeping the AC. It's all tight again. All the belts are on. This belt's just tight enough, I believe. We may get a little slip in the high boost, but I informed the customer he's gonna try to find that Vortec belt and get that for us. The fuel pressured pot, it is hooked up also. That looks real nice there. The strut tower bar goes over all that. We don't have to worry about it. Line, fuel pressure, the injectors and fuel rail are in. Man, this thing is getting really, really close. I need to extend this wire. I think we're gonna do a piece of aluminum off of this guy here. We gotta move that hose down like that. It's gonna be tight, maybe a little pie, I don't know. And then we're gonna get it down. We might just come off and leave it here, and then I'll put our air intake temp sensor there. I might be able to put it here. There's nothing on that side. I don't wanna tap anything. I don't know where all the coolers are inside that guy, but hey, we've got it. We got that fuel line made. This is all mounted up. I do still have to run the water cooler, but just to start it, I do not need this hooked up. It'll stay cool enough for a matter of a few moments. I'm gonna knock all that stuff out, get this good old O'Reilly's test purpose oil in it. And the reason I'm doing that is so if I got leaks, it's $20 worth of oil, not $40 worth of oil to have to put another $40 worth of oil in it. We will end up doing a filter and oil in this. Good old test oil. Here we go. Ooh, can we make a mess? Not with the funnel. Almost didn't even need a funnel. This is a 5-quarter. It only takes 4 quarts. That is plenty to start this thing up. Don't see any on the ground yet, so that's a bonus. Let's tidy up a few things. Fire it up. All right, y'all. I just wanted to run it for just a quick second there. Make sure that I had no leaks. Make sure the oil feed, the oil drain, the injectors, fuel pressure, all that stuff was good. I just wanted to make sure. Man, this thing moves some air. Woo, I love the sound of these superchargers. They are intense. If I could ever find one, I would scoop one up my dang self and put it on. Super rad setup here. I'm gonna call it a night on this one. We're waiting for OBD2 to OBD1 jumper come in. So I'm gonna come over here and start on this transmission. We've got it, we've got the gear stacks, and we've got new Synchrotech parts for it. Let me get that set up and let's dive into it. Should have been recording, but I wasn't. I'm in the midst of taking all this gear stack apart, and I just had to beat the bejesus out of this one. She's all chewed up real good there. I don't know if y'all can see that, but that stack is trash right through here. It's all binded up. And then on the inside grooves, man, it was tight on these. I've never had one so tight. I've done a few of them. Never had one that stinking tight. But let's keep moving forward here on this thing. Keep tearing it down, seeing what we can come up with. Damn, those are just tight. A lot of times you can kind of just wiggle these bad boys off there, but they're all press fitted on this one, I guess. They're real tight. So I'm gonna tap them off with the rubber mallet. I just kind of go around them, get them off the rest of the way, stack it up, and then go ahead and start putting this one all back together. I just kind of wanted to give you guys a little visual here of the difference in these. If you can see, these teeth are all worn down on all the edges, where these are all nice and crisp. Every one of them. See the difference there? That's why this thing was not shifting. Let's jump into the timelines. Alright, had a little GoPro difficulty, but we got right back on it. And this stack is built. We got this selector here, selecting real nice, as it should. And then this one here, same thing. A little tough one-handed, but doing what it's supposed to. These are all wore out parts. I've showed you guys these teeth are wore down. These teeth are just demolished. All these synchros are bad. So that, along with that, along with all that, we're gonna have ourselves a really rad trans here. Next, tackle this one. This one has to be pressed. We have to press this off, this off, this off, and this off, just to change a synchro and a hup. Dang, so much work just for that. This here is counterclockwise, just so you guys remember. Lefty, tighty, righty, loosey. Don't try to tighten that one and loosen that one the normal way. You'll mess it all up. I'm gonna probably hop on that one in the morning. It's like 1 o'clock in the morning right now. I'm gonna call it a night. I'm real happy with my progress. This thing's going to be Gucci. Woo, lots of work. I'm a tired man. It's just me in the shop again, guys. Alexa's in school right now. She'll be down hopefully next week again, but other than that, it's just the wife, Donnie, and me. So we're gonna get through this. We're gonna keep on trucking and cruising. It might be a little slow. YouTube might be a little slow. Just when I think I'm getting ahead, landslide comes in and tries to take me off my feet. But guess what? Me and them Crocs jump right over it. Ain't nothing slowing us down. I'm gonna get home, get some rest, catch you guys in the morning. I got a little carried away. There's my belt stack. And here's your stripped counter shaft. I use a good old 7/8 socket and it fits perfect right on there, as you guys can see. It's just a skosh smaller so everything goes right past it. So when all my gears are on there, I put them on the press. And all I do is I simply use these two plates, and that's my whole set now, just sitting there all by itself. I just put my hand on the bottom, it'll fall right out. That 7/8 falls all the way through, and you only have one set of needle bearings that comes out, and that's this set right here. So just kind of have your hand on the bottom. Do not let this counter shaft fall by any means. Now, I've got just a few little pieces left. I've got this synchro here, this synchro here. These should both be for the counter shaft. We'll throw these guys. Boom. 2 new synchros and a new slide. Put all that on that stack, put it all together, put it back in the car. It's pretty straightforward. I'm not gonna bore you guys with it. I'm just gonna slap it together real quick before I go home. Real quick. It's easier said than done. But get it together, call it a night. early the next day. I got this thing all back together. We got the final drive in it. All of our bearings are good. I'm gonna show you guys that this thing shifts here. Got all of our forks in. Everything's as it should. Those things are buttery. I wonder. Oh, reverse. However, there we go. There it is. I was like, man, I knew it'd go down there. And then this one here. Man, beautiful, as it should be. We got our reverse in, like I said. Everything's aligned, everything's proper. We've got our shims in the bottom of our shafts, and then underneath this bearing, there is a shim also, so make sure you guys don't lose that one or forget it. This stack's got 2 needle bearings. You guys need to make sure to not lose the needles out of those. This one's got 2 also, I believe it is. But this thing's ready to go. It spins around as it should. If I can get everything back into neutral. There it goes. I'm happy with that. It all looks good, it all sounds good. I'm gonna slap the cover on this and hopefully get this thing ready to go back in the car. The customer's gonna bring it down to us and have us go ahead and put the clutch, throwout bearing, pilot bearing, all that good stuff in it, and get the broken flywheel bolts out. Apparently it's got a few broken flywheel bolts, so that'll be a fun task. Anyways, this transmission's good to go. That's another one in the books. Hit us up for those transmission needs. You can ship them to us, you can fly them to us, you can bring them to us. We don't care how you get them here, we'll build them for you. On to the next project, I guess. Little fan noise, we got it all back together. I just gotta get the shift selector in it, get the few little plugs in it, detent springs, things like that, but I want to show you guys, she is in the snap ring. It's all in. This was one of my happier cases. This one just went right together, let me tell you. Like it was meant to be. It's ready to go get ripped on, do some burnouts. Trust me, we'll do some burnouts with it. Don't you guys worry. It's got that LSD in there and we'll just give her the beans. It's good to go. I'm gonna do pilot bearing, throwout bearing, all that good stuff in it. Shift selector, we have a new mechanism, whatever you wanna call it. Shift arm for that guy, cause this one's chewed up. Yep, I'm gonna finish that up. And then this one's done. On to the blue coupe. Alvin's on his way down. Man, that dude already knew. He called me and he's like, hey, you need stuff picked up? I'm on my way to you. And I said, hey, that works good for me. I need some stuff over your way, bring it this way. So it all works out good. Nacho got us a bunch of stuff for his truck. So hopefully today I can wrap Nacho's truck up, wrap that blue coupe up on the other side of this one. This one I'm waiting for the OBD2 to OBD1 jumper to come in. This transmission's a wrap. It's a good week, y'all. Put in some hours, and hey, you can get some things done. Catch you guys on the next project here. It just feels like a never-ending week around here, y'all. Parts just keep rolling in. Here we've got this beautiful, shiny new brake booster for Nacho's truck. We've got some brake pads, we've got a new radiator fan, all the things we need. He just went out and got us. Huge thanks to that. Makes it super, super nice. Huge shout out to our boy Alvin for going and scooping this stuff up for us all the time. You guys might actually be seeing him down here. He might swing in part-time and start giving us a hand every now and again. It'd be super, super helpful. But anyways, right now, I'm gonna get this exhaust off. I'm not even really sure what I'm doing, but I do know what I'm doing. I'm gonna get this cat out of here. I believe it could be clogged. And or I dropped some wires down over here yesterday and that looked a little suspect. And we're gonna be changing both these O2 sensors. I keep getting a P0420 code on this thing, which is like a catalyst code now is what it is. It was a emissions code and now it's throwing a catalyst code. So we're gonna get the cat out of here, get it eliminated, hopefully get all them check engine lights gone. Because once them check engine lights are gone, this one's done. I'm just making sure this thing's healthy for our customer. He has had some real bad luck with this thing and I don't want to keep drawing that bad luck out. You guys seen that transmission's built, so Andrew will be down with this car shortly for me to put that one in. I'm waiting for the jumper harness to come in on this car here and we will have it finalized. I'll put fluid in it and hook that back up once I get that OBD2B to OBD1 jumper harness. And last but not least, check out this new victim. We got a little MR, or a little Miata in here. I was gonna say MR2 because we've seen a really clean one. We'll put a picture of it in here. We're gonna meet up with him, go out to some shows and stuff, just start meeting more people in the area. That's what it's all about, right? The car community. But we got this clean little Miata here. Hopefully it runs real good. Well, we know it don't run at all right now. Hopefully we can get it running good so we can go do some burnouts in it. And we got Nacho sitting here proper. I'm gonna get on it today. For any of you guys need a new car, also, the little Hatcho truck's up for sale. Yep, I'm gonna sell that thing. I don't really need it. I thought I needed it / wanted it. We don't need it or want it. And we're gonna make some headway on Donnie's car. Yep, that's where we're at. Let's build this exhaust. All right, y'all. I just got that exhaust all welded up. It's a nice little piece to fit right in there. That'll go up. I'm waiting for my O2 bung to come in, and then I'll weld it into that pipe there, and we'll stick all that back up under the car, and we should be good to go on that. This thing had a MagnaFlow or something like that. Yeah, MagnaFlow cat kind of welded on it, all goobered up. There was like chunks of valve and stuff in this, and if you try to look through there, she's clogged up. Just a little bit of light is all you can see down there. You should be able to see a lot of light. So I think this was just clogged up due to that engine failure. Kind of makes sense, packed it full of oil. That's where I'm at on this. As soon as I get that on, this car is basically done. Wire up a couple O2 sensors up underneath there, get it out, get it ripping. Still waiting for a few little things to come in, but hey, making good progress today nonetheless. That's where we're at. Let's dive into another project here. All right, and just like that, we have it all in, buttoned up, looking nice. O2 sensor is in. Got a little extender there, so it doesn't throw any codes, hopefully. That's how you can, what is the word I'm looking for? Fool the system, I guess, by not having a cat. You usually need to have that catalytic converter. Otherwise it'll throw a check engine light for the O2 sensor, but if you space that down and kind of choke the air down around that O2 sensor, it acts as if it's in a catalytic converter yet, and usually won't throw a check engine light. So I hope that's the case on this one. But other than that, this car is DUN done. The exhaust looks nice, the car looks nice, it runs good, it drives good, AC blows cold, all the suspension pieces are new. That's a wrap there. I'm gonna head to the house and get the jumper harness for this one. Then I can go ahead and wrap that one up and be a really good Friday around here. We're actually gonna work late tonight on Donnie's car. Maybe get them doors off and ramboard the bejesus out of them and tuck them away in a corner. Cause then, truthfully, without the doors on it, we could get it over here on the lift and go up and down with it and work with it that way, and that'd be kind of fun because Donnie wants to put the safety gear on and grind the whole bottom of his car and get it all recoated, which needs to be done anyways because we have rust coming from the floor up through it, bubbling the paint on the inside. Got to eliminate all that. Enough blabbing, let's jump into another project. Baby, I was born ready, let me tell you. What's up, everyone? We're back on this project now. So we finished up that blue one outside, and Donnie's like, aren't you gonna fill the people in? I was like, hey, of course we're gonna fill the people in. So as you guys have seen, we've taken the door off since last time. That's
not how I talk.
Oh, that's... Tell the people how you talk, Donnie.
I don't talk like that.
Okay. So anyways, we were gonna put the pedal box in this, but we're actually gonna go with the 8500 series. Mm-hmm. Is that right?
850.
850. The 850 series over the 800 series due to where the everything mounts in the car. I'm gonna make this cut here and see if we can make that one fit, just because we're down here. But I doubt it's gonna fit, but it might fit. And I'm gonna cut this since we have the door off and see what we're working with. We only have a few inches to work with here. If we look right through this hole, you can actually see that's the back of the rack right down in there. And the way that those proportioning valves would have sat, they would have sat way back in there. So we need to bring those forward, which will happen with a different pedal assembly. But I'm gonna cut this thing anyways, just because. We're gonna try to move those back about 2 inches regardless, even if we do change the pedal box, so I don't feel bad about it. And we're gonna be painting the inside of the car. So let's see what we can do. And Dang, y'all just heard it from the man himself.
No, not happening.
Even that outside not happening. Now he says, you watch. You watch and see. And it's gonna be. Yep. Who'd you have put your windshield in?
I actually got a guy from the people. They were pretty cheap. He was pretty cheap to put all the windows and stuff in.
Yeah. So like we pull them all out and have them put them all back in.
Sure.
Yeah. Then you don't got to use ram board and cover them up.
Sure.
Yeah. See how easy that is. That works.
The ram board, you make $30 back.
Yeah, damn straight. You better. No, we need that stuff. Yeah, all them ones that they missed.
And this one up here.
And that one up there. And like these ones back here. Oh, and then see, we can take these tortured tabs, finish them up, and do them the right way. I mean, they're not the wrong way now, but we could at least paint them. Yeah. I'm gonna cut this floor now. Check that out. We got the headlights back in it. I've been just crushing Matt on this thing to try to get it all buttoned up and running, and I think we're there. I've put some water down in our water tank here. You can see I got some on my finger. So there's water in there. We got the air filter on. It's kind of ghetto, but this is what the other person did to make it all work. This was not my doing. This came off the kit, and it actually works. The air intake temp goes right there. I just was able to unloom and reroute some of the wiring, and it all works. Map's still plugged in. All that seems good. There's a lot going on in here, but it's actually kind of clean in a sense. Like it just looks like an OEM engine bay, really. The overflow tank's up here now, kind of weird, but that's where the kit has a relocate bracket, and we didn't get it, so I just kind of made my own, went off the strut bar tower, bam, bam, holds that guy in, solid. Overflow line goes there, just a bunch of little stuff, and then we went ahead and installed a wide band, narrow band. He didn't want the gauge out, and I just threw it right there because I did not trust starting this thing on a tune that I could not see the air fuels on. And they're actually pretty good. 12s, somewhere in there. Pretty dang good overall. I do have to do a valve adjustment on this car yet. It definitely needs one. That it does. But let's go ahead, start this thing up, and show you guys. Great idle, no check engine lights, and our air fuels are actually pretty dang good. So this thing's coming right along. I think I got to get a cooling fan put on it and button up a few little things, but all of our wiring looks really good. I've got it all tucked underneath the dash, all pulled up. I've got to get this wire right here, this cable, just kind of pushed over to the side and zip tied up to like the heater core wires, and then it'll all be good. But check that out. Air fuels are good. That means this thing's about burnout ready, and I am stoked for that. That's about where we're at on it. I'm gonna go ahead and slap a radiator fan on this thing, go see if I can do a couple test drives in it, make sure it makes no funny noises after that valve adjustment, and then we'll wrap this one up and be done with it. Get a bumper put on it, send her back home to the customer. Then they can go ahead and fix this side. Dang semi-drivers. If I got any semi-drivers watching this, hey, majority our fault. Sometimes it's y'all's fault. Make sure to be paying attention. That's what happened here. This gentleman was driving with the car behind him. 18-wheeler didn't somehow see both of these cars and got them. Shucks. They could have been in the wrong, but hey, who knows? Anyways, let's slap this fan on, get this one done. Fabricating with the CNC.
What the heck are y'all doing?
Oh, hey, check this out. We got ourselves a big old oil drain bucket. So now we can take all this waste oil and just dump it all in here. No more O'Reillys. Doing it the right way. We'll have a truck come pump this stuff out every so often for us. But hey, to get these in here, sometimes you just gotta jump up here and get the job done. That's what we're doing today. Super stoked to finally have this. Just another thing that you need. But that's all we're doing out here is playing with a bunch of oil.
Oh, okay.
Ooh, look at it.
Probably at least 2 or 3 more times.
Only a couple more times.
Oh, yeah.
I think it's about full now, bud.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
You see that?
Ooh.
Don't drop it.
Look at that.
Oh, yeah.
We got lots of room in there now, y'all. Woo!
They even delivered this thing to us. We didn't even have to go get it. How exciting. Donnie made the executive decision to go scoop it up. But I'm glad he did. Now we can start dumping all our oil in here. Oil and oil only. Goes good with all the propane sitting in the back, you know? Fits right in. Fits right in,
It's gonna be a
guys.
sweet fireball.
Oh, baby. Oil burns good. Takes a lot to burn it, but it burns good. Let's get back to work.
Nope.
You can hold it. Clutch will hold it.
Don't you smell it? Man, oh man. Donnie has dove deep into this thing. We've been having a pretty serious conversation over this hatchback. And I ain't gonna lie to y'all. It didn't take much convincing to get this guy to let me do a full blow-in restoration on this car. I'm calling it a restoration because that's what it's gonna be at this point in time. I just found a dent in this quarter panel. It's gotta go, but anyways, we're working on this. As you guys seen last time, we actually had a different pedal box. It was the 800 series. 800, yeah. And this is the 850 series. 850. This is kind of the more common one. Just off the bat, one guy we know, Eric Catil, he's using it. We're not copying him, but we're copying him. Yeah. Hey, he didn't cut his floor out like we are. So, but we're using the same box as him. A few other Honda people have used them, and they work really well. As you guys could see, we could just basically mount that in like that. Put a seat back in it, put a little false floor, stomp plate, whatever you want to call those, right over that, and be done with it. But tall people like me wouldn't really get to enjoy the car then because the pedals stick too far forward. And we're gonna make this so good old Scott Adams can drive it, I can drive it, but then also make it so like Donovan can drive it and his wife could drive it if she wanted to, and anyone and everyone. That's our whole goal with this, and that's what we're sticking to. So I'm gonna actually cut back the floor more. I opened up this hole here, and what that allowed me to see was this nut back here. This nut's for the lower control arm, and we don't technically ever need to take that nut off with it in the car. You take the lower control arm off, and then you actually slide that off the bolt. The bolt's part of the lower control arm. So I can butt basically up to with a 1/8 inch, 1/2 inch, I would say, somewhere in there of that, and be just fine. And what that's gonna do is allow us to bring our floor flat back there, and it's gonna actually gain us, I would say, about 2 inches. So then this whole pedal box will sit back an additional 2 inches, and that'll be really nice because it's gonna put this pretty dang close to where we want it, and it'll almost be onto the floor. So then if we have to build a clutch stop or anything like that, it's not gonna be relying on just this one on the pedal. That is the adjuster there, but I'd like to put something back up here that actually held the pedal, and then this will all still work. And by doing that, we're gonna be able to clear this knuckle, I think, a little bit better, because this is actually gonna sit down a little bit when it goes back. And then the electric power steering box will be able to fit up in there. We have a lot going on with this. That's a lot of jibber jabber, but hey, that's gonna get you up to date on Donnie's car. He's over here pulling all the harness out because we are gonna completely rebuild it. We're gonna de-pin all the factory plugs off of it and build all new wire. He's been looking into a few wiring places, but actually we have ECU Masters wiring harness, I think is what it is. Yeah. ECU Masters, yeah. And we're gonna make it, it's for a 6-cylinder, but we'll make it work on the 4-cylinder. We'll just lap 2 injector wires and 2 coil wires, basically a few other things, but it should work just fine. Donnie's working on getting this engine out. He's pulling a bunch of things there. We're gonna get the brakes off this, get all the suspension dropped off of it, get the cross member out of it. I'd like to find someone to blast that cross member and Cerakote it or paint it. Maybe we'll do something pretty rad with it. But that's where we're at. I'm gonna get into cutting this floor up a little bit more and see how far we go. Oh, and I just wanted to let you guys know, this one's running. It drives. I took it around the block. Tomorrow we're gonna put the bumper on it so the splash shields are not dragging. And I'm pretty sure it's gonna be ready for him to go home. Customer to come pick it up. We got this red Miata in, it needs a bunch of work, and then we just had this Civic dropped off. That transmission I built, well, we're actually gonna be putting it in, installing it, getting it running, all that good stuff. Make sure it's actually good for the customer. And then Josue, I'm actually going OBD2 to OBD1 on it because I'm tired of the check engine light being on for the O2 sensor, catalytic converter, it's the catalyst code. So I plugged actually this OBD1 ECU into it, and all the check engine lights went away, just like they did on this car. When this car came in without the supercharger, it had a check engine light on for a catalyst code. Imagine that. Both the 2000 Civics have the exact same code on. But we OBD1'd it, no more code. OBD1 that one, we'll have no more code. Let's dive into some action. We're back in here on this beautiful Tuesday. We made a good little headway on Donovan's car last night, but we actually had to pump our brakes a little bit. We're cutting the floor out more on this thing, and we ordered a bead roller so I can go ahead and learn how to bead roll the floor. That should be a whole lot of fun. And we got Alexa down here getting some engines cleaned up for us. She was out last week with finals, but she passed all those. Good news for us. So she can keep coming down, helping us out. And we've got the EM1 here about wrapped up. I'm actually gonna put it down on the ground, and I think we're gonna call it done. I've double checked all my hose clamps, double checked bolts, double checked coolant. Everything's tight. The blow off valve's working. It's all plumbed over to the vacuum port, all correct. The bar's on. Everything I think we touched is tight. I might go through, I think I need to double check. Nope, they're all tight. I know everything's tight. We just got the bumper put on this thing. I got all the bolts put down into the skirts, and I think we can actually let this one down. Good old springs clank-a-lankin'. And get this one outside, call it done. I need to do a little cleaning right in this area from where I spilt a little power steering fluid, but it's all topped off. I believe the water reservoir is all topped off. We got clamps on all that. Everything is good there. So let's get this one outside, get Nacho's truck in, get all these parts put on it, and hopefully wrap that one up also. Let's see. Man, it's a new day down here, and I feel like I just keep getting beat up. Every time I feel like I'm getting ahead, I'm just getting further behind. So we got this all loosely put in, and all the lines were wrong due to the way that this moved. They had some pretty janky stuff going on with the lines. Not janky, just didn't look very good. They were just kind of looped and coiled and all the old stuff there. So Donnie went to go get me some lines. Took a few times, but we did get a new radiator fan on here, and that thing is working. We got it all wired over there. I just need to loom that up. So that's all good. This thing is running, starting, driving. That's all good that way. But I had to get back here to these rear brakes, and as we said, they weren't working. Well, I went ahead, rebuilt this one. It's got brand new shoes on it, all new hardware in there. Everything looks good that way. Getting ready to put the drum on. I just wanted to show you guys that I was able to rebuild that. The old wheel cylinder was leaking. That's kind of common on these old things, so that was leaking there. We got a new one in. I got the line on the back. I just need to tighten it all down, put the wheel on, bleed the system, and go from there. So I'm gonna actually hop over to the other side now, see if I can get that thing knocked out, get it done. I really hope I can get it. A little bit smoother than this one. This was a bit of a chore here, but hey, we got it. Sounds like Donnie's back with my lines. I'm gonna eat some lunch and knock out that other side. Then Nacho's truck will hopefully be done once we get the brake lines on. Let's see. Bada bing, bada boom. That one's rebuilt. Just like that. We got all new hardware and new pads. This side actually did not need a seal there. It is actually good on this side. Somebody's replaced it. It looks identical to the one I replaced on that side. It looks pretty dang new, and it's not leaking. So therefore, we're gonna let that one ride. No reason to change it out if we don't need to. Like I said, it looks good. The seal all looks good on it. Everything looks good there. So I'm gonna throw this drum on, get these rear wheels put back on it, hopefully get some brake lines on it, and get this truck wrapped up. Let's get it home to Nacho, man. All right, y'all, we got this coupe all wrapped up here. We got Nacho's truck all wrapped up inside. It has been just crazy around here. Like I say, I apologize. We've got a whole heap of cars over there that need worked on, but this one is done. Lee will be down tonight and pick it up. This is that Supercharged Civic. It all went well. It looks good. Super happy with the outcome of it here. This thing is just awesome, awesome car. Fires right up. We've got a wideband, narrow band. Everything is as it should. I really hope you guys enjoyed this week. Next week we have a whole bunch of other good stuff planned, and we're just gonna keep the content coming. I'm gonna end this week's video there. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Catch you next week. Make sure to hit that like, subscribe, share, and leave a comment down there if you guys are enjoying these. If you want to see longer videos, shorter videos, you guys let us know. We'll catch you next week.